So it appears the Michael Jackson biopic is in trouble. At least that's how it appears. I want to make that very, very clear. So recently, there was a report that came out from the online news publication Puck. Now, this news report from Puck was written by Matthew Baloney. He is the editorial director of Puck, and he used to be the editorial director of The Hollywood Reporter, which is a very reputable film industry news publication. Now, I say all that because this new Michael Jackson report from Puck is being also reported by other news outlets. Now, they are using Puck as their source, but, other publications like IndieWire and Rolling Stone, Consequence of Sound, they are reporting the same thing because of the Puck article. I'm being very, very specific. But what does this report say? Well, it says that the Michael Jackson biopic has to undergo significant, massive reshoots because it apparently did not pay attention to the law. But we're going to take a look at the IndieWire version of this report right here. Michael Jackson biopic blindsided by deal with family of molestation accuser faces massive reshoot report. An accuser's story frames the script for Lionsgate's Michael, but according to a Puck report, the filmmakers didn't know the Jackson estate made a deal years ago to exclude him from any movie representation. All right. Certainly, this could have been avoided. According to a bombshell report in Puck, Lionsgate's upcoming Michael Jackson biopic, Michael, faces massive rewrites and reshoots because of a deal the Jackson estate made years ago with the family of one of the performer's child molestation accusers. Lionsgate did not return calls seeking comment. That is a very important detail. Let's keep going. In November 2024, Lionsgate announced that Michael, directed by Antoine Fuqua, would be delayed from a April 2025 release to October 3rd, 2025. According to Puck, the problem lay with an agreement between Jackson's legal team and the family of Jordan Chandler, the then 13-year-old who accused Jackson of molestation in 1993. That deal, made years before the movie began development, specifically excludes the Chandler family from any movies about Jackson's life. However, the Michael script began and ended in 1993 with the Chandler accusations, with a third act that hinges on the legal drama surrounding the Chandlers' eventual $20 million settlement. Puck reported that the Jackson estate, overseen by John Branca, vetted the script but somehow overlooked the Chandler agreement, informing filmmakers of the snafu in September 2024, just as the film entered post-production. Fuqua, producer Graham King, and writer John Logan are now seeking approval for script changes from Lionsgate and Universal. Puck adds that the Jackson estate will cover the cost of the reshoots. The film already had a $150 million budget. Okay, so a lot of things to unpack here. So apparently, a deal was made years ago before Michael began development, saying that the Michael Jackson estate could not use Jordan Chandler's name or the Chandler's family at all in any subsequent film productions, right? That is apparently a detail. I don't think this is confirmed. This agreement is confirmed, but that is apparently, a clause made in a legal agreement. Now, of course, in 1993, Michael Jackson was accused by Jordan Chandler for molestation. There's a lot of drama behind that. This case never went to trial. It ended up in settlement with reportedly $20 million between Michael Jackson, giving MJ giving that to the Chandler family. I will say, if anything awful like molestation happens to any one of my family members, I would want to pursue the person that did it to court, and I would want them in jail. I want money and I want jail. I don't just want money. I want that person to be in jail. I'm just gonna say that right there, right? So, you make up your mind with that, but that's what I'm gonna say, right? I wouldn't just want money. I would want also to go to the ends of the earth to see that person who committed that crime to be in jail. So maybe there's some priorities, that were different, and maybe that means certain things. maybe that means MJ didn't do anything. But let's, Again, we don't know. They ended up in settlement, right? They never went to trial. But apparently in all that agreement, yeah, MJ's estate could not use Chandler's name in any subsequent movies, right? And then years and years later, the Michael Jackson estate somehow, who has ultimate control over, Michael's name and the details and the things that happen on this script for this biopic, somehow the estate completely overlooked that clause from years ago. So a few things. The biggest one that I think of in my head is that I don't see how the MJ estate would overlook this, because they are the stewards of Michael Jackson's name. Like, they are the ones that handle how he will be seen, his legacy for years, forever. You know what I mean? Like, they would not be so careless. John Branca, who has law experience, he's the head of the Michael Jackson estate, would not, I believe, this is just my opinion, but I don't see how he would overlook it. And I don't see how maybe there's someone from the Michael Jackson estate who is doing it, and maybe that's their fault and they should be fired. But like, I just really don't see how, even John Branca, like, I don't even see how this would go over John Branca's head. There's no way. You know what I mean? This Michael Jackson biopic is probably the biggest movie that will be made on Michael Jackson forever, of all time. And this is so incredibly important to get it right, and for them to just overlook such an important thing from the script, and there's all these law details and all these specific things that can't be done, and then you just overlook that. It just does not make any sense to me. This is an estate. Okay. Now, I will say this. The Michael Jackson estate is very incompetent in many ways. Even though they have the responsibility to take care of Michael Jackson's legacy, they have not done the best in that. But they haven't done the best in terms of the producing of Michael's posthumous material, honoring him. I think in material, in documentaries. I think the Michael Jackson Thriller documentary that came out recently was pretty good. I liked it quite a bit. I mean, but I always want more, you know what I mean? Where is the Dangerous documentary? Where is, the history documentary? Where's all this stuff? And they're just not doing too much. They're not doing as much as they should. But, they have taken care of a lot, if not the majority of Michael Jackson's previous debt. They have amassed more money ever since Michael Jackson's death. So they're economically doing, very, very well. And so I just refuse to believe, and obviously they're very, very cautious when it comes to Michael's legal problems, his controversies. So to think that they would miss such an important detail like that doesn't make any sense to me. So that's number one. Number two, this Puck report states that the beginning of Michael, and this is related because Puck and also Matthew Bologna, he put out an article over a year ago at this point, revealing some details of the Michael Jackson biopic script. But Puck has reported, in essence, that Michael's biopic begins with the Jordan Chandler thing. It sort of begins in those events, and then it obviously goes into Michael's early life from there, and traverses through his life, and then it ends again with the resolution of the Chandler investigation. So it begins with Jordan Chandler and the drama that's going on there. That's the first, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes of the film. I don't know. And then it takes a detour, huge detour. And then the third act is the resolution of the Chandler stuff. That was I was like, dude, that doesn't make any sense to me either. Look, I put out videos before saying that I'm concerned about the Michael Jackson biopic. I think it might suck. I think it might be a little too airbrushy, you know what I mean, in the execution of Michael's life. I think they're not going to go too deep as they should. I don't think they should shy away from showing the controversies and stuff like that. And to be fair, they have said, at least the filmmakers and the studio Lionsgate, they have mentioned that they are willing to go into all of those things. So there is that. I mean, we don't know, of course, until we see the movie. But there is that. And this Puck report and the previous reporting that they've done states that the movie does, in fact, it starts with it and then ends with it. Obviously, still painting Michael as mostly innocent, and not even mostly, purely innocent. Like, that is what they want to do. They want to show Michael as innocent, right? They don't want to, and apparently the accusers don't really get, enough, there's not enough attention put to them. It's more on how how Michael was treated unfairly throughout this entire process. That is kind of like, I'm like, I don't even see the estate approving something like that. Like, that's awesome. That's a great way to begin the movie. I think that's really ballsy. But like, I don't think that, I just don't, like, I'm like, really? That's how it starts? I don't know, man. I don't see how that movie would start that way. Because it's like, this is a movie that the estate is trying to get to, like, reinvigorate Michael Jackson yet again in the modern era, even though it seems like he's getting even more popular. But like, this movie is designed to promote Michael Jackson. It's designed to put him in a light that is sophisticated and, is deep. But at the same time, at the end of the day, let's just be honest, the light at the end of the day has to be a positive one. Like, the movie can't ultimately end with like people being like, oh, did he do it or did he not do it? I wish that was the correct, or at least the correct intention. I wish that was the intention behind this movie, but I just, the estate will not let that happen. And the only reason I say that is because I do believe Michael's innocent, but like, I think there's a certain amount of reservation you need to have when making a film for, the large audience, for the world. Because let's be honest, I mean, it feels like half the world thinks that he did it. The other half thinks that he didn't do it, right? And so like, I think to a certain extent, you want to make a movie that addresses both of those, thoughts, right? And you have to kind of go through the middle and end with like a very sophisticated, like, people have to get out of that movie being like, that is a complicated genius. Like, that is what, like, and you might be like, well, he's innocent or whatever. And then some others would be like, yeah, they'll have their own thoughts about it, but like, but all this to say, of course, you also do have to show the truth. And the truth is that they settled out of court. The police investigated Michael's house. They did not find any incriminating evidence. And then Jordan Chandler's father infamously had that recorded phone call where he was essentially saying, I don't care what happens to my son. I care that we suck all the money out of Michael Jackson and that he ends up and rots in jail. Like, and he'll never sell another record. That is what he wanted, like. And then eventually, years and years later, depressingly enough, Evan Chandler, that was the name of Jordan Chandler's father, he committed suicide. And Jordan Chandler had a very dysfunctional relationship with his father. So he wasn't the best person. Okay, let's just say that. And so all that, kind of points to the thing that, yeah, Chandler's family was very, very interested in the money. And to my point earlier, if someone really hurt your family, wouldn't you want to take them to jail no matter what? Like, you wouldn't, yeah, sure, take the money, but also, take them to jail, like, put that person in jail. But anyways, so those are my points. Let's continue reading. According to a September 2024 story in Financial Times, Branca made hush payments to 5 Jackson accusers after the release of HBO's 2019 documentary, Leaving Neverland. However, one of the accusers sought further payment in 2024, and that's when the Jackson estate filed an arbitration claim. That's kind of sus. I'm not a huge fan of that. Only then, according to Puck, did Michael learn about the hush payments as well as the Chandler problem. Oh, the Michael team, I guess, the movie. It's beyond daunting to rewrite a film for a reshoot 6 months before release. However, even if Lionsgate and Universal approve of the technical solutions, the script makes sense, production can be completed. It must also calculate for a known unknown. What else might happen? Already, the estate is battling Finding Neverland subjects Wade Robson and James Safechuck in court, with a trial currently scheduled for 2026. How many other legal battles might surface in the wake of Michael? Lionsgate teased footage of Michael back in April 2024 at CinemaCon, saying the film promised to get into all of it, suggesting that it would address the molestation accusations. Interesting. Lionsgate and an attorney for Jackson's estate did not return a request for comment. Universal, which distributes the film internationally, had no comment. So this part right here is probably the most important part of this entire report and this entire controversy, which is that Lionsgate, Michael Jackson's estate, attorneys have not confirmed anything. Okay? This, at the end of the day, could just be pure journalism, woo-ha, sensationalism. However, I will say, Matthew Belloni at Puck, he is, I think, you could say on a surface level, he is a credible journalist. I mean, the dude was editorial editor of The Hollywood Reporter. I mean, one of the biggest news publications in the film industry. I mean, and apparently he said he had access to a first draft of the Michael script. It is always best to be a little cautious when people say, I have access to the script. And then also Dan Reed, the guy behind the Leaving Neverland documentary, said he had access to the script. Of course he's going to say he had access to the script. And then of course he would say it is full of crap. The Leaving Neverland documentary, from my estimation, from my opinion, is propaganda. It is not a factual documentary. Okay. However, even that will be put to the test because apparently Wade Robson and James Safechuck's claims against Michael Jackson will go to court. Will go to trial in the next 2 years or a year or so. So things could get hairy. Things could happen on that trial that could change the whole view of Michael Jackson. Who knows? But for my estimation, the facts do not line up. They just don't, and then obviously according, and just the fact that Leaving Neverland came out during the Me Too movement, of course, and then Robson and Safechuck, and how later they came out. It's just I know there's a lot of gray area. People come out way later, trying to say the truth. Just because you didn't, and just because you didn't say the truth at the time, and just because you might have testified the opposite, doesn't mean that you can't come out later and, because of therapy or because of, self-search, you arrive at a different conclusion. That is a possibility. There is gray area there, but it just does not seem to me like there is genuineness in that documentary. It just does not. And the facts, some of the facts don't line up. That is just my thoughts, right? But yes, Lionsgate, Jackson's estate have not confirmed anything, and people having access to the script, we don't know that, for sure. We don't know that for sure. So there's a lot of things here that just I don't know. The estate messing up such important details to me does not seem right, but again, it's also the estate. But I just don't see, if there's anything that they would mess up, it would not be that, which is they're responsible for Michael's legacy and his image in the most controversial when dealing with his controversy. That is the most sensitive part of his legacy, and you're telling me that they're going to screw that up? I doubt that. The biopic beginning with the Jordan Chandler thing is really ballsy, really artsy, really cool. I would have loved to see that, but and then it ends with that. It just doesn't make any sense that they would. The biopic leaning heavily so much on that is pretty ballsy, but I don't know. I'm skeptical on that just because I don't see the estate willing to let that happen. You know what I mean? They would want to kind of keep that on the sidelines, kind of not be the basis of the script or not be the narrative anchor to the movie. You know what I mean? Matthew Belloni, he wrote an article a while ago releasing some details on the script, and yes, he does explicitly say certain things that the way that the movie begins. Let me go here. The script. So this is according to Puck. This is from a March or May, one of those months of 2024. Matthew Belloni wrote this. So what's in it? The Michael script opens with Jackson staring out from his Neverland bedroom as the police arrive to strip search him. part of the 1993 investigation into statements about Jackson's anatomy made by Jordan Chandler, the 13-year-old boy whose molestation claim was the first legal circus and eventual $20 million settlement. Script then goes to great lengths to minimize and downplay the actual claims and eviscerate the Chandlers, including that infamous recorded phone call, where Jordan's father says his real goal is to destroy his ex-wife and Jackson's career. There's Bronca discussing the claims as an extortion attempt. Lengthy and pretty grueling scene of Jackson actually being strip-searched and photographed totally naked while surrounded by cops and lawyers. This assault, this scorching trauma will shake him to the core and never leave him, the script reads. The clear message, Michael was the actual victim here. So the script opening with Jackson staring out from his Neverland bedroom as the police arrive to strip search him, that's pretty powerful. Like, that's really cool. And then I just think it's too ballsy, dude. I just don't see the MJ estate being like, yeah, let's do this. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't, because that's going to give half of the world plenty of ammunition to be like, MJ is totally, he did it, or at least he might have done it. You know what I mean? Like, the estate is, again, their salesman for Michael. And I don't agree with everything that they do. I don't agree with that premise entirely. Like, I'm a lover of art, of genuine, objective art that takes itself seriously, that is complex, that is nuanced. This is nuanced and complex, but I just don't see the estate doing something like this, approving something like this. So it just doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't seem right to me, and it kind of sounds like, this kind of just sounds like sensationalism, like just trying to, potentially say, hey, I got access to the script and these are the details. And obviously the script doesn't give enough time and substance to Jordan Chandler's side, right? Like it's to paint Michael as innocent, and that's what this, article says. And I just don't. So with all of those things, as cool as this would have been, I just don't see that being the case. So there's a lot of things that just kind of smell bullshit. So I don't know. And the biggest thing, again, there's no confirmed comment. No confirmed comment. They have not moved the release date yet. It is still slated for October of this year. Until that happens, then there might be some sus, there might be some sus in there, and you could potentially say something here and there, but nothing yet. And I'll definitely make a video if anything does come out, but nothing yet. And so, sorry, there's no confirmation. We can't really say it for sure, but there are some credible journalists behind this. Of course, one journalist being Matthew Bologna, potentially credible. That is, there's a lot of reason to believe him, but at the same time, I don't know. It just doesn't sound plausible to me, but it could be true. It could be true. Another thing, too, that's important to mention is in November 2024, Lionsgate announced that Michael, directed by Antoine Fuqua, would be delayed from April 2025 to October 3rd, 2025. And then according to Puck, the problem lay with an agreement between Jackson's legal team and the family of Jordan Chandler. Now, that could be true, but also the estate or Lionsgate, everyone involved moving the release date to October, it does make sense because from what was shown at CinemaCon, a little bit of the footage of the film, it does look really good. And it seems like Lionsgate is really, and Universal are really banking on the fact that this film could be an Oscar contender. And usually you release a film around that time if you want the film to, get that kind of Oscar buzz. So there is that thing as well. It does not necessarily mean that it doesn't mean that both could have been into play, right? The Jordan Chandler thing and the Oscar buzz thing. But there is that potential other reason for moving it. Anyway, those are my thoughts on this controversy. I would like to know what you have to say in the comment section below. Give me all your opinions, your thoughts. We can have a thoughtful discussion. Let me know. Give this video a like if you like, dislike it if you didn't. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content and you want to see more stuff like this, I guess, or if you want to see me cover Michael Jackson more. Share with your friends. If it's your birthday, happy birthday to you, you beautiful creature. But I think that's it for me. You all take care. stay safe. Make sure to watch the whole video before you comment, and until next time, I love you.